Hi everyone, welcome to Enterprise TV, and this is Food Tech Talk with Mrs. K. I'm excited to be in your space this day. For this series, we are going to be talking about health and safety, especially as it concerns SMEs in the food industry. And for today's episode, we are going to be looking at occupational hazards. We are talking about occupation as it concerns the SMEs. Most times people look at occupational hazards and they're looking at corporations, big enterprises that are well established. That most times the SMEs, especially those in the food business, they ignore a lot of warning signs and hazards. What's a hazard? Let's start from there. Any sources of potential harm or danger that can cause injury or illness or discomfort or any negative impact to the people, the product, the operations, or even the environment. These are things that we do not want. In the context of the food processor, the hazards are conditions or substances that can affect food safety. The safety of the food that you send out to the public that can affect or cause harm to the workers working with you or to the entire operations or system or the environment as a whole. Now, when we come to occupational hazards, these are risks or dangers that workers are exposed to as they come to work every single day. In their line of action, what are the hazards that they are faced with? These are things we're going to be looking at today. Why am I bringing this topic up? Because most big food processing companies, if you're talking about the big corporations, the international companies, they already have a health and safety officer working, ensuring their standards, ensuring their safety. They are regulated by NAFDAC, by SON, they have their HACCP plan all in place. But most SMEs in Nigeria, sadly so, they do not even have the basics. Most of them are self-sponsored. They came into business, they are building from scratch, they don't have sponsors, they don't have backup. So you can see in this space, you will see businesses that are started with 20,000 naira, yes. You see businesses that are started with 100K. So out of this small capital or starting, there are even people that started from nothing. They started from maybe carrying products from other producers, and from there, many of us started from our kitchen, from our home, domestic spaces. So now when finances are limited, people cut corners, people improvise, we look for equipment that are either second-hand or locally produced. When you're talking about second-hand equipment, you will now ask yourself, why is the seller selling it? Either it has become overly problematic or it was dysfunctional. Those are the most common reasons why people will sell their machines in our environment. So you see that these people are building with nothing. And some of them also do not have food safety knowledge. They are unschooled or limited education as it concerns food science, science in itself, and how to handle food and people's life. Many of the operators are using locally fabricated equipment that the safety of those equipment were not incorporated. If you buy a grinding machine, for instance, that is manufactured by corporations abroad, you will find out that there are areas that are covered, areas that are sealed to protect the user. And sharp edges are well streamlined, the materials are made of acceptable. But when you see most of our fabricators locally, because of the same problem that SMEs have, they are building from scratch, they are building with limited funds, they are building with limited education. You find out that their equipment, it meets the basic. So if it's a grinder, just grinds. There is no additional anything. We may call it a fizzy. There are no additional anything, safety protocols around it. So you see that the sharp edges are exposed, the rolling parts are exposed, and there are no operator's manual, there are no warning signs. Sometimes the voltage that the machine is bringing out is not even known, even by the producer. So when you are using such equipment as an SME, also with your own limited knowledge, you find out that you are exposed to a lot of occupational hazards. Same knowledge gap, you find out that many people have poor knowledge of food safety, food chemistry, microbiology. They do not have knowledge of that. So cross-contamination becomes an issue. Cross-contamination, when we're talking about it, is microbes moving from one part of the food line to another, or even from the food handlers to the food, or from the food itself to the food handler. Yes, it can go across in different ways. Somebody handling raw meat can contact a disease, animal disease, because it's not properly protected. As well, somebody can be wounded or caught with equipment that are not well fabricated or faulty equipment, or some of people have also faced electric shock. Now, occupational hazard is real, and many food processors have been faced with these hazards. Why I'm bringing this up is for you, an SME in the food industry, you are building with limited knowledge. Limited knowledge is actually not an excuse for you to keep your workers at risk, or for you to expose yourself also at risk, because once you are wounded, especially for people that are solopreneurs, if you wound yourself, if you hurt yourself, your business is going to suffer it. If your workers are always having downtime because someone cut a finger, someone slipped and fell, somebody is exposed to excessive heat, excessive high temperature, because the environment where the person is working is not well taken care of. Hazards and safety and hazard is not considered when you are setting up a workplace. It's going to come back to you as an entrepreneur. In the long run, it's going to affect your income, because you're going to have more expenses on maybe treating wounds, having downtimes of workers not coming to work because of, they have been wounded in the workplace. Some people have come to work, and because of occupational hazard, they have incurred lifelong health conditions. There are people that are down with backache because they kept lifting weights and all that. So this is what we are talking about. Limited knowledge is not an excuse. You can sign up for trainings. You can also go to YouTube and find a lot of information on what you need to study. So that you have limited knowledge is not an excuse. Go all out and seek for this information and empower yourself. And as you are learning, please make sure that the work environment where you are working as an entrepreneur and where the people supporting you, your team members, are, ensure that it is safe and that your workers are safe, and also the byproducts of your products are not harming the environment. I hope you have learned something from today's episode, and I'm glad you tuned in to watch. And make sure you subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell so that anytime we release a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you so much for joining. I am Mrs. K, Ihedi Makawekune, and I'm happy to have you on today's episode of Food Tech Talk with Mrs. K. Thank you.